king, I am not a god, I am Hump.
What's good, YouTube? In today's video I will show you how to build your Xaku Prime for level 9999 enemy steel path in Warframe. Let's get to it. Welcome back, Tano. I hope you enjoyed the speedrun. Xaku Prime Kit. Piece passive. 25% damage reduction on AoE attacks, boom boom, and chance to avoid incoming weapon damage. Not bad passive, but whatever. Zata Whisper will void damage on all attacks on your weapons. This is his subsumable ability, and it's really powerful, and this is the ability you want to switch with another helmet ability. Why? Because it doesn't synergize good with his kit. Otherwise, just use Xaku without any helmet ability. The second ability, you will steal weapons from the enemies. If there is no enemies, you will use your primary weapon. If you don't have primary weapon and there is no nearby enemies, you will create a void orbs. This ability is weird because it scales based on ability range. The ability range will affect how many weapons you will have that fight along your side, and it will affect how far those weapons in your side will hit the enemies in what distance, and also it will affect how far you can take weapons from the enemies. I mean, it's really crazy. Of course, ability strength will increase the damage of the ability. Now, the Lost. This is where sometimes gets confused because the Lost has a 3 abilities within. You tap to cycle, you hold to use the one you want. Accuse will make enemies fight each other. Gaze will armor strip enemies, and Deny will do void damage. Simple as that. Now, the Vast in Time, his 4th ability. This Vast in Time will slow enemies, give you speed and dodge chance, and when you hit enemies, you make them more vulnerable to void damage. And now let's talk about Xaku Prime augments. Zata Whisper doesn't have an augment. Grasp of Lock got an augment called Vampiric Grasp. Grasp of Lock augment when a stolen weapon deals damage to an enemy affected by the Lost, Gaze, or the Vast in Time. Xaku heals by 25, makes it really nice when it comes to combat discipline with Arcane Avenger, but whatever, we don't need that. The Lost got an augment called the Relentless Lost. The Lost augment, the Lost gains 35% ability strength and 15% ability efficiency when cast. The effect stacks up to 3 times. Casting the same ability back to back resets the effect. Okay, it's not bad, but it's okay. The Vast in Time doesn't have an augment. Now, you need to remember one thing, that the Grasp of Lock is scalable based on enemies level. That means the higher enemies level, the more damage you will deal. Now, that makes this ability is the best in his kit. Keep that in mind, so don't ever think about taking it off when it comes to using a helmet ability. And now, before I show you the build, you need to know that I use always a method called DVS on building warframes or weapons. D stands for how I'll be dealing damage, V stands for how I'll be proccing viral, and S stands for how I'll be stripping enemies. Now, this baby boy got it covered on the D and the stripping from the 3rd ability, the Lost, using the Gaze. Starting with Xaku Prime build. Here we go. First thing first, in the aura we'll be using Brief Respite. On ability cast, Squads converts 150% of energy spent to shields, while overshields are inactive. Now, why we would use the energy to get shields? Now, there is something in Warframe called shield gating. What is shield gating? Shield gating in Warframe, when you lose your shield, you reach something called gate. That gate will make you invulnerable for certain duration, depends on how much shield you have. Alright, now, if you lose the gate and you didn't regenerate any shields, you will get hit on your HP and then you're pretty much dead. So the idea of shield gating is getting back your shields before the gate and vulnerability duration finish. Simple as that, and this chart right here will help you understand that. Prime sure-footed so you don't get knocked down, and you can replace it with a lot of other options. For example, you can go for more strength and 30% chance to resist knockdown. You can go for constitution for faster recovery and more ability duration, or you can go for the normal sure-footed. But my best and my favorite is hand spring. Right about here until you get prime sure-footed from the login reward. And please DE, put prime sure-footed on Baroketeer so every Tano has access to it. Overextend, range and strength. Ability rage for strength and minus efficiency. Catalyzing shields. This is the old school of shielding. Meaning, if I remove this one, I will have 353, okay? And for 1.3 seconds until shields are regained. But if I put it back, I will have 71 shields. In the meaning of, I will get back my shields really fast to the full to get my 1.33 seconds invulnerability. Simple as that. Umbral Intensify for strength. Rolling guard for bad situations, and trust me, you will face a lot. And if you plan on taking your Warframe to high levels, this is a must because you don't know what you're going to be facing. A Nullifier, Thrax, Toxin, Magnetic, you don't know what's going on. Rolling guard saves me every time. Primed Flow for energy max, Stretch for ability range, Continuity for duration, Energize for energy, and now Arcane Rage depends. Now, if you plan on relying only on Xaku, you take off the Arcane Rage and you go for Mold Augment. Hands down, that's it. Okay. If you plan on using weapon, if it's let's say for example melee weapon, go Fury. If it's like for example a primary, you go Rage. If it's secondary, you go Precision, and so on and so on. Alright, now this is pretty much it. When it comes to the Helmet ability, previously I used Nourish, alright? Because Nourish will proc viral when enemies attack you, so they're cooked, and so on and so on. But it's okay. I will leave you this shit right here to maneuver around armor stripping, which you don't need really. But you can maneuver also on viral, because you can proc viral from your weapons. You can proc, like for example, Sedo or Epitaph. You can use your companion to proc viral for you. So it's okay. Nourish is amazing, yes, but it's okay. Try different things always, and you don't have to stick to the same helmet ability I use. You can use whatever you desire. So the one I'm using is Quiver, and now since the second ability, Grasp of Lock, is ability, alright, it will not break my Quiver location of invisibility. Of course, you can use the Horas or you can use the Shade, and you'll be fine as well. And you can use something else in here to boost your damage. Totally up to you. Okay? Nothing written on stone. Always move around, try different things, and that's what Warframe is about. As you can see, we're running high range, high strength, and high duration with low efficiency. That leads us to the Archon Shards. Now, Violet Archon Shards for 2020 health and energy, converting. So it's like semi-equilibrium. Okay, here we go. One Tau Forge here, one normal here, and then we got ability strength here, and casting speed is really important. So there you go. That's pretty much it. And then comes to the companion, I'll be using my Nautilus Prime to prime the enemies for me with viral, since that's my source of proc viral. I'll be removing assault mode, so reduce the damage output from my Nautilus because it's really high. Cordon to pull in enemies, Duplex for the clones, Vacuum to pull the loot, Manifold for more cordon, Calculated redirection for the shields, Metal Fiber for armor, Enhanced Vitality for health, Reinforced Bond for fire rate, Tenacious Bond for critical damage, and there you go, you got the shields. And now we need the 50% plus critical chance. Either you use the Veriglass with a Riven, minus proc for viral and heat, okay? Alright, or if you don't have a Riven and you really want to get that 50% critical chance, you can use the Volclock until you get a Riven for Veriglass. As I know, Veriglass Rivens are pretty expensive. And the way you play this build is really simple. Let's summon 20 Heavy Corrupted Gunner Steel Path Edition, and then all we have to do is just go invisible with the first ability, then use the second ability to take away their weapons to fight on our side, and then use the fourth ability to make them more vulnerable to void damage and give us the dodge and the movement speed and all that. And then we're going to be rotating from the third ability and then using it on one of the enemies. As you can see, they're all armor stripped, and my companion is priming them with viral, and pretty much they'll be dead. Now this is me without using any weapons, and you can just keep going and going and going, and it scales and it kills level cap without any problem and without using any of your weapons. But of course you can help with using your weapons. Now sometimes it's really nice to combine things out. For example, you can use the gaze to armor strip, and then you can, for example, use accuse, so they start like fighting each others, and you can stop the abilities from going down in the ability duration by casting always the 4th ability. So keep the 4th ability always active. Simple as that. In the end of the video, I want to say Xaku Prime is really top notch and it's like 10 out of 10. It's a must have for a lot of reasons. It can be camping Warframe, it can be cascade Warframe, it can clear maps, it's be good for exterminate, it's good for defense, it can like go for loot, you can use the 4th ability to crash crates, even it's good for void plumes collecting. It's really top notch Warframe, and now it's Prime. I just have like a feedback to DE. I hope one day they listen to this video, that I hope that Prime Warframes get a boost on their abilities. For example, higher damage, higher durations, higher, I don't know, higher buff, more I don't know. Just like, I hope Prime Warframes get the Prime like feeling, okay? Not just like a bit health, a bit this, a bit sprint speed. That's no good for Prime Warframe. I want to say special thanks to special VIPs, Rekaka, Illusion, or Freer, the undisputed donator, free hate, big love to you, brother, and thank you for all your support. Whole of donation, Kalirek, or Freer, Victor, Mr. V, Mika Wes, Milan, Illunaut, and Noobmaster, and everybody ever supported this channel with liking, subbing, or commenting. Join our Discord link in the description, and of course, it's coming up next, the Tromna level cap and the Quartz level cap. See you in the next video.